First off, what branch of the military did you serve in, and what was your rank during the war?
I was in the Navy, and I was on a, but I was with a, even though I was in the Navy, I was with an air division. So I wasn't U.S. Navy Air, I was just U.S. Navy, but I flew with on the chopper. And I was signalman third class, signalman second class, I guess, that was my last rank.
Why did you choose this branch, or didn't you choose it?
I chose the Navy because through the generations, everyone in my family was Navy, so I went Navy, and I grew up on Cape Cod, so I loved the ocean, and I had boats all the time, so I wanted to be on the ocean.
Did you participate in any battles? If so, what was your experience during them?
Well, my ship, the ship that my helicopter crew was stationed on was an ammo ship, the AE-28 USS Santa Barbara. Now it's a huge ship. It had 8 cargo holds, 8 decks below the waterline that had nothing but ammunition. So what we did is we turned around and if you will, we supplied the fleet in Nam. We supplied them with ammo, so they would come. I was SM2 was a signalman second class because I was supposed to go in and be an officer, and I changed my mind, and that's another long story. But I gave up my commission, and we would send signals back and forth to the ships as they were coming off the gun line, telling us what they needed for ammunition. So our group made them up in big cargo nets, and we would lift them with a helicopter and lower them on the deck of their ship, and they'd take them apart, and then we'd keep going back and forth. So as an individual battle, no, we supplied the ships, but we were off the coast, and we weren't in official battles because we weren't armed to be a battleship or anything like that. We were strictly a supply ship.
Okay. Did you ever meet any of the natives?
Oh yes, yeah. My picture that I'll give you is, there was a big base in Da Nang, and that's where we flew in and out of, and on the ship itself we had 2 choppers on the back of the ammo ship. And yeah, I did. I met a lot of people from Vietnam. We operated with them. They came on the base. They did a lot of different services.
What was their overall attitude towards Americans?
I think, and I know there's some things right now that there's a documentary out that was done by, I think I'm not sure who it was. I think it might have been one of the Kennedys. But someone did a documentary on the war, and if you got to see that, the South Vietnamese people, it's hard to determine South from North, but they all look, they looked alike, just like a lot of us do. So the ones that we knew and we met were warm, loving people. It was a shame. I mean, we left a lot of them behind because I was there at the end of the war, and that's when I left to come home. And we left a lot of people behind that were on our side that we knew they'd never survived there.
How many years did you fight in the war?
I was in Vietnam for 10 and a half months.
What did you feel you were fighting for, and did you feel the war was necessary?
It's kind of a hard thing because I had doubts about going, but it was a lot of pressure back then, especially from, the service families. Everybody in my family served, and that was always thrown up about it, but I wasn't sure that what we were fighting for. But after I got there, I can't say that's what we should have done, but we did what we thought was patriotic. My ship sailed in June, and we were missing a lot of people. A lot of people just didn't show up to go, and so we were undermanned, and we had to work a lot of hours. My shifts were 16 hours off, 4 on, and that's the way it was. You had to do whatever,
How did you feel when you heard the majority of the public didn't support the war necessarily?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you can use this, but in the top drawer of my dresser that's by my bed, there's a letter that was written. But I wrote several letters back home to the press, criticizing Jane Fonda and various people that did nothing but talk bad about us, and we were there. And if you're there, you got to do what you got to do. But I do have some letters people wrote to me and sent me gum and different things, knowing that we were fighting, and they were hoping that their kids didn't have to go or their grandkids didn't have to go. And it was just, it was a tough situation, you know.
Were you drafted or
Oh,
did
no,
you
no, no,
enlist
no,
on your
I
own?
enlisted. At 17, I joined the service. And I was hoping to get an appointment to the Naval Academy because I wanted to go to Naval Academy all my life. And you had, at that time, you had to get congressional appointments, and my family was poor. We didn't know any congressmen. And so I was told if I joined the service, I could get an appointment through them. So at 17, I was a junior in high school, and my math professor was a lieutenant commander. So I joined the Naval Reserve to try to get an appointment to the Naval Academy, and through his, medical situations, I couldn't get in. So I went in as a regular, but I joined when I was 17. I didn't have a problem with that.
Did you participate in any of the counterculture movements?
Oh yes, of course. I can show you lots of pictures. Long hair. I can show you my flower printed clothes. When I was in school, of course, it was big for concerts. We had a huge concert at our school outdoors for a weekend with 300,000 people. I had long hair. I rode Harley. I got a 51 Harley Davidson. I got leather jackets with my American flag on it. No, I was different. I was an engineering student, and I didn't carry a briefcase. I didn't carry any books. So yeah, I had long hair and beard all the time, pretty much.
What did you find appealing about it?
For me, I wanted to be different. I didn't want to be the standard engineer carrying a slide rule or a calculator and books. And they were considered kind of nerdy back then, An engineer, they carried books like this or briefcase. So I didn't want that culture. And my folks, like I say, they met in. My mother and father met on blind dates on motorcycles, so I kind of fit that culture. I had 51 Harley. I didn't attend school. I drove down the beach, chased women just like, I don't know what they do now, but that's what we did.
Did your opinion of the music and drug use of the counterculture change over time?
Yeah, probably so. I did things, I guess, today, I don't know, I couldn't tell a lie, I tried some of the stuff. And it seemed like it was cool, and things like that. And some of it, look at, marijuana's a lot legal now in the whole United States in America. And I don't know where it's going, but, we have alcohol, we have drugs, it just seems pretty bad right now, so. But in those days, yeah, we drank a lot, we partied a lot, I'm sure it hasn't changed over the years. It's just what's legal or not anymore, so I don't know.
What was your reaction to the Kent State shootings?
Unfortunately, there's a lot of things I didn't participate in because, my dad had died when I was 13 and my mother was ill, and so I took care of my family, so a lot of times people went out and did things like I remember people going for skiing on the weekends and stuff like that. But I had to work. I had to work to pay for school. I had to work to take care of my mother and my younger brothers. And so I didn't, it was just a song, that's all to me. It seemed horrible, but I didn't grow up without authority. And so and especially now, it's easier to look back and understand that because once you've been to war, you don't know what pushes your buttons, what makes you afraid until you're in that situation. So, if someone's coming at you and it's a group mentality with a march or something like that, and I'm sure the police have a fear for their lives when you see you're outnumbered, and just like in Nam, when we're outnumbered, you just keep shooting. And so I think it seems like it wasn't necessary, but I wouldn't know until if I were one of the police there, people coming at me, I would, I think we all have a threshold of fear, like we have thresholds of other things, and that could have, now I couldn't say. Back then it seemed horrible, but it's that way in a lot of societies. America's been protected from a lot of things, and the brutality that's happening now, being shot in malls and stuff, it's no different.